Hey guys, what is up? It is Castle Perfect here, once again bringing you a Pokemon Wi-Fi battle match on my Pokemon Y2. This is a NU Wi-Fi battle match against RG Madao. This match was kind of fun, I gotta say. One, because this guy is a liar, and two, because I completely own the opposition. And as a compensation for, not uploading for a whole week, this match should be sufficient, I hope. Because I got a little surprise in the middle of this video. This guy was just hella funny. I was laughing my ass off. But anyways, let's go ahead and get started, guys. My opponent is gonna lead off with an Audino, and I'm gonna lead off with my Monferno. Now you gotta understand this. I never face Audinos, so I'm not really sure what they are about. This guy set up the rain as I set up my Stealth Rock, so I should have seen that coming actually, because looking at his team, it basically benefits a lot from the rain. So I should be careful because there might be some Swift swimmers such as this guy. Everything can change if you don't watch out for those rain dance teams. But it looks like this one is not rain dance. It's gotta be something else. I'm not really sure because it's not faster than me. It should be faster, but it's not. Anyways, I go for the close combat and it does more than half. It does about 59% damage plus Life Orb recoil that he gets after attacking me. He's gonna have less than enough HP left to survive another close combat, so that's basically what is gonna happen here. Coco version 2 is gonna take out that Poppy Toad, and it basically goes down, and that's amazing because it's already 6-5, and the game is looking pretty good here. Now I could have gone for an overheater here against the Parasect, but I decided to switch instead into La Leche. I'm sorry, I forgot that I named this guy in a Spanish name. La Leche is basically the milk, for those of you who didn't know. But anyways, Miltank basically walls the Parsec pretty well, so it worked out in the end. Anyways, he's gonna bring out the Tentacool here, and it's gonna set up the Toxic Spikes. It's not really gonna matter too much. I mean, I got a few guys that are affected by the poison, but on the other side, I also have a Heal Beller on my team, so I'm not too worried about the Toxic. So I'm just basically gonna continue going for the Seismic Toss here and do as much damage as I can. I basically almost KO'd that Tentacool because I was using Seismic Toss. He was able to set up 2 layers of Toxic Spikes, which means I'm gonna be badly poisoned every time that any of my Pokemon gets affected by the spikes. So that's gonna be pretty bad, but not to be worried about something so small because my team is basically built to handle that kind of things. So the Audino comes back in, and I'm gonna paralyze it simply because I don't know what this Audino is all about, so I'm basically gonna cripple it as much as I can with paralyzation, and he basically goes for the Encore so far. I am going to basically go for the Seismic Toss as much as I can because I want to take out this guy as soon as I can, and going for the Encore was one of the most stupid moves that he could possibly go for at this point of the game, because one, I don't really have any other reason to not go for Seismic Toss. Looking at his team, it doesn't have a Ghost type Pokemon, so I'm free to go for the Seismic Toss and do 100 damage every single turn that I attack. So I don't know what was up with that attack, but anyways, I am going to finish off the Audino, and he's gonna bring out the Parasect, and the Parasect is gonna put me to sleep. Well, that much I did figure, because Parasect always seem to have the move Spore. So La Leche is basically the best Pokemon that I have on my team to be the Sleep Father. I'm gonna make a switch into Shadow here, Voice, because Voice, it's like the best counter against this thing on my team. One, because it can go for X-Scissor. I'm talking about Parsec, by the way. It can hurt my Musharna, it can hurt my Tiana, it can hurt basically everything on my team, so the better choice was to go to Voice because it's resisted, but instead it goes for a Lead Seed, which also works for him and also works for me because I don't get as much damage done as I was actually expecting. So I'm going to go for the Chatter, and that's basically gonna finish off his Tentacool because he decided to Death Father that Tentacool instead of sacrificing his Parasect. So he's gonna bring out the Kangaskhan at this point, and this Kangaskhan is definitely the only Pokemon on his team that is basically a threat to my team. So I'm gonna make a weirdo choice right here and switch into Weirdo, because Weirdo is a weird ass Pokemon and it sometimes works and sometimes doesn't. The Retaliate is basically gonna get a boosted amount of power because one, on the previous turn, one of his teammates died so that means Retaliate gets an added power boost, and not only that, it's also stabbed. And that thing also has Life Orb, so it's basically a monster. It's like Hyper Beam all over the place. So he's going to go for the substitute. I did expect the substitute because, I mean, I have never in my life faced a Kangaskhan that doesn't go for a substitute. I've never seen a Kangaskhan without substitute, that much I can tell you. Well, that's, you know, I'm talking about my personal experience because I really have never seen a Kangaskhan without a substitute move. But nonetheless, he's gonna finish off my Musharna, which I basically had to sacrifice in order to bring out Kingler, the Chosen, safely into the field. Now I get badly poisoned because of the toxic spikes, and he makes some awesome switch here into the Cradily as I go for the Crab Hammer. His ability, you know, activates Storm Drains, and look at what he said. This is really funny. By the way, you're battling against my cousin. Sorry about that. I said it's cool, and by the way, I took over on that switch. So that means every very good move that this guy makes in this game is basically he's doing, but all the other bad things that are happening in this match that are not going his way is probably he's causing. So do you really believe this guy? I don't. Anyways, you know, a very good move right there, but I gotta switch here because I don't have any other choice. I could have stayed in, but I couldn't hurt him with Flail, which is my only remaining attack, because I have Endure and also Swords Dance, and that's not really gonna help me out in the long run against the Cradily, so I might as well switch on into La Leche. I'm sorry, sometimes I just stuttered. But yeah, it looks like La Leche is still asleep, which is not good. And well, at this point I was like, well, what else can happen to me? He could go for X Caesar, get a critical hit or something like that, or he could go for a Swords Dance, he could go for a Lead Seed, but there is really nothing on his arsenal that can basically threaten me out or scare me to death. Basically, Miltank has everything what it needs in order to counteract a Parasect, other than, you know, being put to sleep, which doesn't do any damage at all, but just wastes turns and gives the opponent more turns to do stuff. So he goes for the Brick Break after he lead seated me. I am still asleep after 2 turns of, you know, trying to get out or trying to wake up. He doesn't wake up, or she doesn't wake up actually, because she loves to sleep. And I mean, we're talking about La Leche here. La Leche loves to sleep. But anyways, he's gonna be almost back to full health as I wake up. I fire punch his face, and yeah, for those of you who are actually wondering, why are you carrying fire punch on your Miltank? Well, that's one of those choices that you make when you're making your Pokemons, those like awkward choices. You just do it. I mean, I was like, I want to put, you know, fire punch on this guy, and it for some reason came into hand. Right now, it was handy. I mean, I could, you know, I was able to take out the Parasect in one shot. It wasn't like I was expecting him to use one, but it was like one of those random moments that it just comes into use and comes into place, and it helps you out a lot in the end. So that's very good. I do in fact take out the Parasect and also the Kangaskhan. I was able to, you know, leave one of those Retaliate moves, which are very powerful. And other than that, I am basically gonna Milk Drink here. I know he's at some point going to go for the Lead Seed or Energy Ball, Earthquake, Rock Slide. Whatever this guy is about to use is not gonna be a threat against Miltank. One, because Miltank has very good HP, defense, and decent special defense. So it's basically gonna have all the opportunities of the world to basically finish off this guy in the end. Now, Cradily has the move Recover as well, so it could be an endless war, but this guy was smart enough to think that this was not gonna work, and he decided to flee. So that was, you know, it was kind of a decent game. I gotta say that this guy lies in a very bad way. He's a bad liar, because how can you give the DS to your cousin and let him play bad, and then you play good and then return it to your cousin? That's stupid. That doesn't work like that. But anyways, guys, I thank you very much for watching. If you want to like this if you want to like this video up, it would help me out tremendously. It really helps. And leave a comment down there telling me, is he telling the truth or is he lying? What is your opinion?